This is Kitzur Yomi as we continue learning the halachas of Bishul Akum, and we're up to Siman Lamid Ches, and we pick it up from Sif Tes. Says the Kitzur Akum Shabishal b'Shabbos Bishul Chayla, a guy that cooks on Shabbos for a Chayla. What is the halacha? Says the Kitzur, and our page just disappeared. Hatavshil Aser b'Motzai Shabbos. Afilu le'achayla. I'm sorry, I don't know why this keeps on happening. Let's try to get this up and running. One more time. Says the kids, if you cook on Shabbos, not you, if a guy cooks on Shabbos, the halacha is the food is aser even for the one who is cooked with, which that's part of the chiddush over here, the moitzai Shabbos. Im efsher b'tavshalach, if his other foods are in your day. Uvekelim, the kilim yishlatim yisleis. And of course, the chiddush over here is, as you see in note 31, that we have the detail of Bishul Akum, which makes the kelim treif. But over here is Bishul Akum in a level of heter because it was for a chayla, but that's what's going on. Sivyud. An egg, even though it can be swallowed raw, that's not the normal way of eating an egg. In Bishul Akum, asura v'chein kol keyetz bazeh. Peirosh l'zashilin kol tzarkan. Fruit that's not fully ripe, and they're not normally eaten raw. They're fried in sugar. And of course, this reminds us that one of the two rules of Bishul Akum is that something which is edible raw, the halach is no problem Bishul Akum. So if, let's say, lamash, for example, a fully ripe fruit, then it would be no problem if a guy cooked it because it could be eaten raw. Now this is it's a chiddush, we have to just understand it. We all know this halacha, a beer, grain and honey, even though it's made by a guy, we're not even had to drink it. I feel even the house where the guy sells it. Why not? Why not? The guy cooked up grain and he made beer. Says the Kitzur, that tvua betela b'mayim, the tvua is null, the grain is null to the water, and it's like water. You have to investigate, and you have to make sure there was no wine in there, to make sure there's no yayin nesach issue. But in a place where yidden are lenient, lax with regard to stam yeinam, even with beer. Now we get to the next entity. Wait, why is it no bishul akum on coffee? Below chalav. Dim chalav, vadi aser with milk, of course, is aser. Al chalav akum, which we're going to get to in the next siman. V'chein chocolada v'tiya itzal akum shomer nafsho yerachik is atzma. He says the kitzur, a chumra, a shomer nefesh should distance himself according to Pischei Tshuva. Yishvatir li lishta is derech harayah v'derech kvius. It is also yad Ephraim b'shem the yavitz, and again, this is where it comes from. That ostensibly coffee you could drink from anywhere, but there is this level, not the most common followed chumrah, but there is a chumrah that even though it's only coffee, a bal nefesh should be machmer. Sif yud gimel chalav shechalav akum. Here it is, milk that was milked by a guy. Ve'en Yisrael roi ehu, and that's going to be the critical line. Chalav Yisrael has nothing to do with who does the milking. That's a mistake. It has to do with the yid see the milking. So if it's done by a guy and a yid did not see the milking, it's also to make cheese. Has to be for the beginning of the milking. See that the kli is clean, and then the milk goes in. You should not put milk in a vessel the guy usually puts his milk into. Maid servant to milk the animals. If there's no other Gaisha house there, if you're allowed to let them milk the cow. And of course, this is where Allah comes from, because of course in all the areas there are Gaisha houses in between. And therefore, if a guy milks the cow, it's going to be Aser. And obviously, what was parenthetically mentioned, the Kula of Ramosha Feinstein, and Ramosha holds that Chalav Stam, that when it comes to, he calls it actually Chalav companies, the fact that a big company made it, you know that there's nothing else in there. Ramosha makes it that it's the same level as if you saw the Yid, even as if a Yid saw them milk it. Kvinas Akum Asura, but of course, the Moshe says Baal Nefesh should be Machmer. Siv Yedalit. Kvinas Akum Asura. Cheese of a goyer also v'misol roya chaliva v'siyas kvinas. However, a Jew sees the milking and the making of the cheeses. If the cheeses belong to the Yeh, then it's mutar. It's going to be asura. Butter has to do the minhag makamais. Says the Kitzur Yomi, there are places that watch. But of course, we have to just parenthetically point out that any time there's additives added, you have to be wary of other kashas concerns, which of course is the way that we have it nowadays. If you're going from a place where the custom is not to eat the butter of a guy, the place where the custom is yes to eat it, even though you're going to go back to your original place, you're allowed to eat it. Nowadays we heard that they're deceitful. They put the butter in pig. Should be careful. And we continue with the halachas of eating, drinking before a meal. So the kids are over here in Siman Lamites, the nice Akdam from the article points out, after we learned all the food preparations, the Kitzur discusses meals, su'udais. We're going to get into bracha rishona, bracha achrayna, etc. Says the Kitzur, if you want to eat before you wash your hands for a meal, food that you're also going to eat during the meal. Whether it's something you would yes make a bracha on during a suda, kigoin, for example, pay rice, lifting, condiments, minikitnios, ardafel, v'chein bras lishtreis is a mashke, chutz ben hayayin, koidin til sidayim, v'gam b'tech suda, v'gam b'tech suda yishte, and you drink it also during the meal. Yesh v'zem achleigis hapaiskim. If the item you're eating or drinking before washing your hands, niftar and are going to be potter at the end of the meal by berachas hamazayin. Like the foods that are eaten during the meal are potter by berachas hamazayin. Says the Kitzur, we have a shayla. If I eat something and then I go directly into a suda, does the bracha achrayna, does the berachas hamazayin patter up the food that you ate during the meal? Now, note 13 points out that the Kitzur is emphasizing that the suffix is both fruits, condiments, vegetables. Why? Because some hold that these are foods that either way you would have to make a bracha on during the meal. So says the Kitzur, l'cheina, therefore, should refrain from this. Should I eat or drink these things only before the meal? Don't continue eating them during the meal. Or can make sure before the meal eats less than the requisite amount. Says the Kitzur, and however, if he did not say bracha achrayna, yivarech b'teicha suda, make a bracha during the meal, afilu achar birchas hamazayin. V'mach lo ishasa miminim elu, gam b'teicha suda, then yahadir achar birchas hamazayin lach l'lishas is a davar, u'levarech bracha achrayna, lift the gam ha'shachal l'shas kodim til sidayim. So you see over here the level of suffix that the Kitzur is in, so much so that he wants you to continue eating this item after the meal, and then make a bracha achrayna. We'll pick it up from here.